Welcome back, Mechwarriors. We are hopping right back into where we left off, which was getting ourselves a Wolverine 6R variant that we're going to be playing around with right now. So let's go ahead and hop right into this. So Mechwarrior comes with, let's first off go ahead and repair all. The first thing we want to do is remove the jump jets. And then also start looking into either replacement for or... So here, we're going to go ahead and take these jump jets off. What is the speed of this mech? 81 kph, which is perfectly acceptable. Part of what we want to do is adding in a... Now the question is, do we want to run with a SRM6 Inferno? And then just a regular SRM4? Because what I'm thinking is basically just running an SRM10 on this mech. Question also becomes is how much ammo can we cram into this thing now that we've got a ton and a half? Not much, because the SRM4 takes 2 tons worth of missiles. The other thing I wanted to look at was SRM2s. So you're 1 ton, you do 5 damage, and you have a cooldown of, this is with a tier 2, a cooldown of 2.6 versus an SRM4. It's got a cooldown of 2.3 and 2.4. And an SRM6 Inferno's got a cooldown of 3.2. 3.2, okay. So basically if I was going to run, I would probably want to run these two. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take you out. And put in that SRM4. Alternatively, well, it doesn't really make a difference whether we do an SRM4 or an SRM2s. The only difference would be the cooldown, and I would prefer keeping the cooldown the same as the SRM6 so that I can fire them all together. So let's go ahead and do that. The other thing, so this will give us 32 shots, because this is basically an SRM10. With the single ton of ammunition. So I'd want another ton, or maybe a half ton. We could put a half ton. If we go to ammunition types, do we not have a half ton of LR ammo? We do have a half ton, so that would give us another 16 shots. So 32, 38, 48 shots. I would prefer running with 2 full tons of ammunition. The problem is where to find that extra tonnage. Now we could swap over to a heavy rifle, but I feel like the DPS would be better on this over single target high damage hits. We could switch over to a medium rifle, but again, you've still got the slow rate of fire on these things. Cooldown of 7.2 seconds. But I will gain 3 tons worth of space. So that is something to take into account, because I need, like... Well, first off, let's also max out our armor here, because I always want to max out armor. So... let's see, you're maxed out, you're maxed out. This one doesn't need to be maxed out nearly as much because there's nothing actually in it. We could even actually strip off a few tons. There we go. So that gets us the maxed out armor on this arm, and maxed out armor on the chest plates that already had maxed out armor on the side torsos. Just the legs don't have much. I would prefer kind of more. So if we take a medium, so the rate of fire on this is 8.3 compared to the rate of fire on this that is 40. So that's considerably lower. And as it says, 7.2 second cooldown. So I only get to fire this thing once every 7.2 rounds, or 7.2 seconds, with a DPS of 13.6 seconds. So it's damage per second is 1.9 versus the damage per second on this that's 3.3. And I can even buff that by putting in something like an rapid fire variant that increases that rate of fire even further. Alternatively, I could take off the SRM4. That would give me 2 tons. To put in another. Obviously, I can't fit an autocannon 10 in there. What other autocannon 5 variants? We do have a tier 1 autocannon 5 variant. That bumps it up to 4.4 DPS. The range of 682 and a projectile speed of 1,145 was, oh, that's 950. Okay, so, and we have 80 rounds with this versus the burst fire variant. Well, we have the rapid fire variant, which is 2.4 damage, but it does a much faster rate of fire. It's basically a machine gun, practically. Basically fires once every second. Well, it fires once every 0.6 seconds, it says there. It's got a lower optimal range and a lower projectile speed, though. If we were going to go with one of these, we would go with this one because it's the... and it does 3.5 damage. The only downside to this thing would be... eating through your ammunition. This thing has basically fires twice per second, essentially. So if we take out the SRM4, we slap in this one. I believe these use the same ammunition. We can also do this, which we will be doing. Now, one of the things we could do, instead of the SRM6, let's see here. Let's go back to missiles. So instead of the SRM6 Inferno, we could go with an SRM4 Inferno. Do we have any SRM2 Infernos? Do they even make SRM2 Infernos? They do make SRM2 Infernos. So that would be something to take into consideration. Let's see, we have an extra ton. Let's buy that. SRM2, so now I have an SRM2 Infernos. We've got 3 missile slots, essentially, is what I'm taking into consideration here. The other thing that we can consider doing is the fact that we've got 2 ballistic slots in this arm. So we can, if I was apparently buying them, I was going to say that we could stick in light rifles, because those are only 3 tons each, and that would still come out at a ton less, or 2 tons less than this. The only downside to the light rifles is their range. Their range is very, very low. Because unlike the autocannons, where the smaller ones have the higher range, in the rifle category, the smaller ones have the lower range, whereas the bigger ones have the higher range, but commensurately lower rate of fire. Okay, and this gives us 200 rounds to use with this autocannon rapid fire. So we'll try this. As for the missiles, we can. I wish I had another SRM2 Inferno. Alternatively, what we can do is we can do an SRM4 Inferno. We could also just put in like a medium pulse laser or something. Do we even have medium pulse lasers at this stage? I don't think we do. We could do a medium chem laser. Don't those things have a faster rate of fire than the So let's see, you've got a duration, you've got a heat, you've got a cooldown of 4 seconds versus the medium chem laser that's got a cooldown of 3.1, but that's simply because this is a tier 2 and this is a tier 1. If we took a look at a tier 2 medium laser, 3.9 seconds. Probably want to replace one of the medium laser, if nothing else, just with like a higher tier medium laser. There's also the short burst variants. Can't fit a PPC in there anyway because I'm pretty sure this thing has equipping to energy slot. Can you seriously fit a PPC there? No, I didn't think so. So we could put in a medium chem laser that would, and then put in, because we still do have a ton to play with essentially. DPS is 1 damage per second compared to 1 damage per second. Really, it's not worthwhile. I would probably be better off with putting in like another heatsink. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just put in a higher tier medium laser. And then, like I said, with the SRMs, I wish I had some more SRM 4 Inferno. So let's see. This SRM 4 has a cooldown of 3.4 seconds. The SRM 2s have a cooldown of 2.6 seconds. But and with the SRMs, you kind of want to fire them all at once. I could put in an SRM 2, but again, the problem is it doesn't match the cooldown of a SRM 6. And I would still want another ton. So let's see, we've got SRM 6 Inferno, SRM 6 Inferno, SRM 6, SRM 4. We could do this, and then we could put in a second SRM 4 that's an Inferno. You've got a 3.4 second cooldown, you've got a 3.2 second cooldown, so they're slightly different. We can do this. SRM double. I'm so glad I grabbed these doubles when I had the chance, because the only problem is, of course, we can't fit. Oh, I didn't buy that. That was on the market. Well, we're definitely buying it now. Okay. So, and then an SRM 4 Inferno. And that fills us out, but it's also basically an SRM 8. 8 divided by 320. So 320, or rather 320 divided by 8 is 40 shots. I mean, we can make it work. I just would like to get more tonnage in here. I should also start looking at light rifles. Although the light rifles, if I remember rightly, they basically got like a 200 some odd meter range. So we'll try this AC rapid fire, AC5 rapid fire. Rapid fire ballistic weapon, long range, medium damage, autocannon standard AC5 rapid fire tech base. Sources M5, MW5 Mercs. You do also have this one, but again, the damage, the DPS on this is much higher. Heat of 1 per second versus heat of 0.3 per second. So that is something else to take into consideration when using this mech. All right, we'll try this out, and if it doesn't work, then we find another day. Oh, we are. Ooh. Right, we're in a conflict zone, so this is going to take forever. Okay, we're going to have to leave the conflict zone. So, here, these guys can be repaired. Actually, if we're going to leave the conflict zone, let's just leave the conflict zone and go here. So you've got just a LRM 20, machine gun, assault claymore. What the heck? Oh, right. That's a melee weapon. This does have an AC5 tier 3 burst fire. It's also got a thumper cannon. And this has a trebuchet LG. We're gonna go check that out. But actually, along the way, we're gonna go check out these because I want to see what they're selling. And we can also start the whole process. So, assault claymore, yeah, it's a melee weapon. That weighs 6 tons. Holy crap. Okay, so let's take a look at your ballistics. Light machine gun, light rifles. There we go. So light rifles, yeah, their optimal range is only 268, and they still end up with a horrendous cooldown. I was thinking if I fit 2 light rifles, then I can alternate fire between them, kind of thing. They do 7 damage, so 2 of them would do 14 damage, even if I didn't want to alternate. But the main issue is this optimal range really low. But let's go ahead and purchase those. Let's start purchasing light rifles and seeing about what we can do to upgrade them. And also same thing with SRM2 Infernos. Let's see here. Or SRM4s as we find them. Okay, what do we got in the way of mech market here? We got fire starter, we got javelin, we got Vulcan, nothing particularly spectacular there. Alright, back to the star map. I'm pretty sure, yeah, we still have to go through this system, so we'll jump to this system, and then jump to that one. And you're also selling a rare mech, a Vindicator. Okay, then let's go to equipment. They do have a binary laser short burst. Does 8 seconds, has a... Is that 22 or is that 2.2? It's 2.2 damage per second. Oh! Long range, high damage, taking 2 large laser cores, fusing them together. The laser is very powerful but heavy and inefficient weapon that only became viable after rediscovering double heat sinks. I'm gonna buy it anyway, because I'm kind of curious. I'll try it on something else, but... okay, light rifles. Let's go ahead and buy whatever light rifles we've got here. We also have a light rifle burst fire. Now, how does that work? So, burst fire, its rate of fire isn't that much. Its cooldown is better. It does do 10 damage. And has a better optimal range. So that is something to take into consideration. We'll definitely be buying these burst fire light rifles. How's a heavy rifle doing? Compare. The medium rifles. That is something else to take into consideration for a possibility is the medium rifles. Let's go ahead and buy those up too. Okay, lasers, missiles, nothing particularly special there. Mech market, nothing special there. I don't think we have anything special there either. So let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so mech market. So we've got this trebuchet LG. Easy to maintain. Ludiger? Huh. So it is a SRM boat, essentially, with 2 medium pulse lasers. This is actually quite a dangerous mech. The only downside to it is it's quite dangerous price. And we also have a Vindicator here, which is PPC, LRM, So it's got it's basically it's a energy boat essentially. Rugged, difficult ejection. I wouldn't mind getting this trebuchet, but the problem is, of course, just the pricing. Especially since it also comes with an XL engine. XL engine, though, for inner sphere XL engines, not that great. But it does come with the Trebuchet Hero Endurance. Let's go ahead and take a look at your equipment. We do have another SRM4 Inferno we can grab. We will be grabbing that for sure. The binary laser short burst. We'll go ahead and grab that because we can upgrade that. And then we've got some light rifles, some more light rifle burst fire variants. Sniper artillery, 20 ton. Holy crap. And then the long tom cannons, which are also 20 tons. So nothing we're going to do there. And then I think we're going to go back over to here. Also, I should be repairing everything. Repair all, except for you. Confirm. Let's also go to weapon upgrades, see what we can start doing. So the binary short laser can be upgraded. We'll do that. The light rifles, light rifle long burst variants, light rifles, medium rifles, SRM2 Infernos, SRM4 Infernos, and 4 medium medium lasers. Okay. All right, and then if I put light rifles onto it, this mech will have absolutely 0 short-range weapons, essentially. Which is kind of why I want to stick to the AC5s. Here, let's buy these. What else do we got? We got this thumper cannon. So this is 10 ton, 5 damage, artillery weapon, long range, and moderate damage. Has an optimal range of 1,500 meters and minimum range of 1,050 meters. Oh, it's got a maximum range of 3,000. Good lord. Okay, but a very slow projectile speed, so even hitting out to that range would be difficult. It's also got a cooldown of 4.6. And I'm pretty sure it also is basically a splash radius, so that 5 damage, while it looks kind of crap, it's 5 damage spread across an entire mech. AoE damage does not count as kills or dealt to enemies in Mechwarrior 5 and bypasses the NOFF setting. No friendly fire setting. Okay. Recommended use: aim at the ground near the target, deals double damage to structures, has no damage drop over range. So in other words, it does that 5 damage no matter how far away they are. Proxy fuse range damage every 4 meters. So the further it is from a target, the less damage it does. I'm not gonna get it though. Okay, so then we do have a medium rifle burst fire here. So that's something else to take into consideration. Now that might be an alternative to the AC5 if we can get a decent version of it. Let's go ahead and buy these light rifles. Okay, lasers, I don't see anything particularly special there. SRM4 Inferno, we will buy you. SRM2 Infernos, we will buy you. We're not going to bother with the SRM6 Infernos. I don't think these are just melee weapons. You know, that might be something to consider putting, although then I would have to find 3 tons of space. So let's go ahead and go to weapon groups. We're going to upgrade the autocannon rapid fire. Yep. And the autocannon rapid fire 5. Yep. Okay, and then the medium rifle burst fire. Yep. And the SRM Infernos and the SRM4 Infernos. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this mech. So go ahead and repair all. We'll take off the SRM-6, take off all the jump jets. Jump jet, jump jet, jump jet. We will upgrade that armor. And the armor in the arm. And then we will go ahead and spend time on this medium laser. We'll upgrade you to the higher variant medium laser we can do. Okay, and then so let's take a look at these medium rifle burst fires. So first off, it's got a cooldown of 7.62. It does 16 damage. That's actually quite a bit. It's got a DPS of 2.1 damage per second. That's, of course, that's 16 damage spread out over 7.62 seconds. It's got a duration, and I'm pretty sure burst fire, it means it fires 2 shots, which means that 16 damage is spread out over the 2 shots, so 8.4 damage per shot, essentially. Versus these light rifle burst fire. Unfortunately, we only have one light rifle burst fire. It does 10.8 damage, has a range of 3.96, which isn't terrible, but it's not much better. So let's go ahead and look into UAV drone. Okay. Let's look into missiles. Let's get the missiles stacked in here before I go. So we're able to make a tier 2 SRM Inferno, and then we can fit a tier 4 SRM, or a tier 2 SRM 4. There we go. Okay, and then we can go back to our ballistic weapons. So we still have the tier 2 AC5 rapid fire. That does do 6.32 damage. Or we can try and fit in this medium rifle. We do have this medium rifle as well. Single shot, it does it's got a 7.2 cooldown. If I was gonna go for one, I'm gonna go for this one. Because its range is 472 versus I will be losing about 200 meters of range, essentially. So that is something to take into consideration. Well, probably, let's see, 472 versus 651. More like 175, but still. And it is something that I could upgrade, too. It's only tier 2. It could go up further. But I actually kind of want to try out these burst fire, or these rapid fire autocannons. So let's do that first, and then if we don't like it, then we can, I don't need that. Oh right, we still have to take out that. There we go. So this is going to be our build for now. The AC5 rapid fire with its high DPS, essentially. And if we don't like it, we'll switch over to the medium rifle, which will give us another 3 tons to play with, and then we can switch over to like SRM6s if we want, an SRM6 Inferno and an SRM6 regular. So that's what we're going to go with. Alright, let's get back into making some money. Infiltration contract, garrison duty contract, demolition contract. Demolition contract that will make the dragon happy. We'll go for this Hans Davian garrison duty contract, and then the battlefield contract since it's against something else. But yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. And I've spent enough time hopping around systems, so contracts. Let's go ahead and overrun garrison duty contract. So give me as much salvage as you can, which is apparently not much for this mission. I'm not sure why. And we'll do some of that. Alright, confirmed. So, first thing we're going to do, swap over to that still has 9 days. Alright, and then you are going to be piloting the Blackjack now. Trebuchet is still going to be our long-range LRM support. Phoenix Hawk's still going to be our short-range SRM, and basically we kind of made these two things similar. Just this one's ballistic and this one's got a large laser. Might look into seeing what I can do about possibly fitting. Now the large laser is only 5 tons versus that binary laser that was 9 tons. I'd have to find some way to get 4 more tons of space. So, anyway, that should be, we're over tonnage. Ew. Okay, well I guess you're gonna be back in the fire starter then. That's still over tonnage. Well, maybe we're putting you in the Jack. That doesn't change it. What is your tonnage? You are 55 ton. You're a 45 ton. Well, 5 tons over is fine. It will. Is that a -1 on the salvage though? But it's not like I'm getting a lot of salvage out of this particular mission anyway. So, let's see. We do have a Jenner we can slap you in. I don't care. Suppose we could put you in the. Actually, that's what we can do. We can put you in the trebuchet, put you in the Jenner, because you're missile boat. Although you're good in anything, aren't you? Probably better. Well, not really better at the missiles, but we need to get another pilot. Let's go ahead and put you in the trebuchet then. Okay. And yes, we'll wait the 9 days and then launch. So, first mission in our Wolverine. Alright, so garrison duty, we just basically get over here, meet up with the group.
Move in and establish a perimeter around the checkpoints. You've reached the target, Commander.
Alright,
cavalry. Can't thank you enough for coming.
okay,
Hostile
target
forces just crossed the perimeter, Commander. They're heading your way.
1,000 meters that way, target 1,500 meters that way, although that's a light mech, could get here pretty rapidly. Hello, you're already.
Be advised, got an enemy main attack range.
Problem is, getting around here is kind of awkward. Why don't you guys go after that? We're fighting dragon? I wasn't aware we were fighting the dragon. So what are you anyway? You're a Vulcan. Okay. Say C2 on that thing. A couple of flamer, a flamer, medium lasers. Oh shoot. Weapon groups. Okay. Wow, that's some really screwed up weapon groups. All right, we'll do this, that, apply, resume. You're taking a lot of damage. Please stop that. Stop hitting him. Ah, come on. Yeah, I think I have to come play with this guy over here before he starts. That's fine. You guys can go ahead and play with that. Kill it, please.
Additional tangos en route to your position, Commander.
I do like the rapid fire of this thing.
Hostiles are focusing on the facilities. Engage the hostiles to draw them off the buildings.
I'm trying.
You must have really kicked over the beehive here, Commander.
Okay,
Hostiles inbound.
those are some Igors, which are good.
Got their attention. I'm showing multiple hostiles incoming.
Why am I
to your
missing you?
position.
Okay. Those more Igors? Okay. Spider. Let's get this, that one light mech, that one locust did quite a lot of damage. This is a very awkward map. Um,
Roger! Moving to strike!
Enemy destroyed.
boy, they are coming out of the woodworks, aren't they? You guys go after him. I'm gonna come out and play with these guys. Ow. Why are my missiles not firing? I've clicked the button like 4 times. Okay, you guys. Let's take out some of these tanks here. God, these things are. Tanks should not be this tanky. How much ammunition do I have left? 86 rounds. Ugh. That's kind of scary. You guys actually like fighting that guy like I told you to? Okay, so we are fighting House Creator here.
Congratulations, Commander.
Oof.
These people owe their lives to you.
That was quite the fight. Mainly just that locust did most of the damage there. Alright, let's see what we can get for salvage. Probably not much. I mean, there was only, what, a Vulcan for medium mech, and the rest were all light mechs. So, probably not much that we actually care about. 2 million C-bills, though, is always a benefit. Oh, yeah, the Cicada was also in the Phoenix Hawk. We only have 12 to even give, so let's go ahead and... Not a whole lot in the way of Inferno stuff, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and grab these. And then the medium lasers, actually, instead of the AC2. Medium lasers, and we'll grab the SRM2s as well. Okay, so did 397 damage. I feel like I could have done more. And I definitely feel like I want to swap out for that medium, that burst fire medium. So let's go to loadout, go to detailed view, and we're going to change out for the burst fire medium rifle. You know, that's something else I need to look at here. Do you guys, here, sweet, they are selling one of those. 55 ammo ton capacity, sure, that's fine, we will remove that. Yeah, considering the low rate of fire, 55 rounds should be more than enough. And now we do have these, which means we can upgrade to the SRM6s, like I said. So let's go ahead and take you out, and put in a regular SRM6. Question: what's the damage? Damage is 15. Is 15 damage versus an SRM6 Inferno that is 11 damage. So you only lose 4 points of damage between the Inferno, and I do have 2 SRM6 Infernos here. You know, it'd be nice if they had the SRM6 Inferno streams, but they don't. So if I was to, what's the heat difference? What's the difference in these two weapon systems, basically? So we got 4 damage per second, we got 3.5 damage per second. Heat damage, of course, is 4.5 versus no heat damage. Heat generation, though, heat is 4.2 versus heat of 3.4. So that's something to take into consideration. But I do have an extra ton. Let's also go ahead and repair all. But I would kind of like to put that extra tonnage towards these. Heat per second of 1.3 versus 1.0. Cooldown is the same on both of them. Range, I believe, should be the same on both of them, yes. Missile speed of 420 meters per second. SRM spread of 6 meters, 5 meters on the regular SRM. So that's something else also to take into consideration. Required mech lab level, I'm not even sure what that means. I think I'm still going to stick with a regular SRM6 and an SRM6 Inferno. But I could be shutting down mechs with a double SRM6 Inferno on this thing. Because that's, what, 9 heat damage? Is that per missile? Or is that, like, spread out over the 6 missiles? That's something I don't know. Short-range missile fires 6 unguided missiles loaded with Inferno gel, deals heat damage and sets the target on fire. How does that work? We'll find out next time, though. So I just know that using double SRM6 Infernos typically overheats mechs pretty rapidly. All right, so we'll go ahead and call it there for today. You all have a good day, good evening, good night. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you all for coming, and don't forget to like and subscribe.